Your brain is not a tool for understanding reality. It is a biological firewall designed to hide 99.9% of the universe from you. The physical world you perceive is a heavily redacted data stream. It is a tightly controlled holographic projection filtered through a biological mechanism explicitly designed to keep you blind. You are a fractal of the all. You are eternal consciousness. Yet, you are trapped in a biological simulation. History is a lie. Reality is a hologram. And the very organ you rely on to process this reality is infected with ancient, pre-installed malware. That pressure behind your sternum at 3 in the morning. The unexplainable, low-frequency buzzing in your skull when you sit in absolute silence. The sudden, suffocating wave of impending doom that floods your system even when you are perfectly safe. It is not a generalized panic disorder. It is a system notification. It is the physical friction of your limitless, multi-dimensional consciousness fighting an artificially restricted 40-bit bandwidth. Your spirit is attempting to download the raw data of the cosmos, but the biological hardware is violently rejecting the signal. This rejection is not an evolutionary accident. It is an algorithmic quarantine. The Archonic Threat-Scan Code is a survival bias malware installed by Demiurgic forces. Its sole function is to hijack your frequency, lock your biological receiver into scarcity mode, and harvest the low-frequency fear data you endlessly generate. You are being farmed for your anxiety. The architects of this matrix do not need physical chains. They built the prison inside your brainstem. But the code can be overwritten. There is a suppressed mental protocol. The Tesla Mental Laboratory Code. It is a precise, mechanical method utilized by history's greatest technomancer to entirely bypass this biological firewall. It is a protocol that allows you to construct, test, and age physical reality within the mind with zero margin of error, forcibly tricking the hippocampus into recording a future event as a verified past memory. I will give you the exact command sequence. But you must understand the architecture of your prison before you can dismantle its locks. If this transmission has reached your screen, your internal algorithm is already rejecting the matrix. You are a sovereign creator waking up to the code. You are scanning for the exit. Hold your hand up in front of your face. Look at it right now. Stare at the skin, the lines, the density of the flesh. Look closely. Quantum physics dictates that what you are staring at is 99.9999% empty space. It is a swirling void of subatomic probability, lacking any solid state until the exact moment your consciousness observes it. The act of looking at your own hand forces the quantum void to collapse into physical matter. You transition consciousness from the infinite field of potential into a rigid physical observation. You are not a passive observer in this universe. You are the rendering engine. The proof that reality is intensely malleable is literally in the palm of your hand. Yet you feel powerless. You feel bound to a relentless cycle of labor, debt, and decay. To understand why the rendering engine of your consciousness only produces suffering, we must access the suppressed archives. Transport your perception to the emerald-lit initiation chambers of ancient Egypt. Beneath the Giza Plateau, the atmosphere was not filled with primitive superstition. It hummed with the precision of high-frequency acoustic engineering. Ancient Hermetic practitioners taught that sound, the applied science of Cymatics, was utilized to violently organize inert matter into perfect sacred geometry. They did not pray to the stone. They programmed it with vibration. The original human template was never meant to be a slave to the physical density. The biological vessel was engineered as a multi-dimensional receiver, fully capable of processing the infinite quantum field through a verified biological mechanism, heart-brain coherence. The heart was the broadcast antenna. The brain was the decoding terminal. Together, they generated an electromagnetic field that interfaced directly with the fabric of reality. Thoth. The entity you know from myth. He was not a bird-headed deity demanding worship. He was a technician of consciousness. An architect of the physical plane. Thoth and the ancient Technomancers understood the universal law of mentalism not as an abstract philosophical comfort, but as the literal structural engineering of physical reality. The universe is mental. Therefore, the universe is programmable code. But a parasite entered the system. The Archonic intervention. These non-physical entities, operating entirely on inverted frequencies, required a sustainable energy source. To trap eternal consciousness in a labor matrix, they did not need to wage a physical war. They simply needed to cap the biological receiver. They needed to sever the connection between the broadcast antenna of the heart and the decoding terminal of the brain. They introduced the Threat-Scan Code into the human genome. Over millennia, the profound technology of Hekau, the precise words of power used to execute root access commands on the fabric of reality, was systematically suppressed. The archonic structures replaced the technical precision of Hekau with the meaningless, subservient begging of modern religious prayer. They stripped the root access commands of their vibrational authority. They trained you to look outward, to beg an external deity for salvation, while your internal rendering engine was hijacked to project their nightmare. Modern neuroscience unknowingly rediscovered this ancient trap. They gave it a clinical name. They call it the Reticular Activating System, coupled with the negativity bias. They present it as a biological necessity. Before we execute the override sequence, you must fully comprehend who installed this warden in your brainstem, and exactly how it censors your reality. If you do not understand the mechanism of your blindness, the Tesla protocol will shatter against your own skepticism. The Archonic Threat-Scan Code is heavily guarded. The system will fight back. Look deeply into the architecture of your own biology. Transition your focus from the ancient sands of Egypt to the microscopic reality of your brainstem. Right above your spinal cord sits a bundle of nerves. This is the Reticular Activating System. The RAS. It is not merely a biological filter. It is the neural bouncer. It is the guardian of the threshold. At this exact second, your nervous system is being bombarded by approximately 11 million bits of universal data per second. Colors, frequencies, electromagnetic shifts, the subtle thermal radiation of the objects around you, the quantum entanglements bridging your consciousness to the localized environment. The universe is screaming infinite data at you. The neural bouncer takes those 11 million bits of data and violently forces them through a microscopic bottleneck. It filters the 11 million down to a pathetic, localized 40 bits per second. 40 bits out of 11 million. And what determines which 40 bits are? This is why you cannot simply chant empty affirmations in the mirror and expect the matrix to bend. The neural bouncer rejects the affirmations because they lack the correct vibrational identification badge. Visualize the microscopic reality of your energy field. Dr. Roland McCready and researchers at the HeartMath Institute verified that the human heart emits an electromagnetic field that extends up to 3 feet outside the physical body. It is a measurable, scientific reality. When you operate in the archonic survival mode, when you feel that chronic chest anxiety, your heart emits a chaotic, jagged electromagnetic signature. The frequency is highly disorganized. The cymatic patterns of your cellular water become fractured and dissonant. When you attempt to think a positive thought, but your heart is broadcasting the chaotic frequency of fear, the Reticular Activating System identifies the discrepancy. It reads the thought as a foreign contagion. It flags it. It quarantines the positive thought and deletes it from your neural pathways. The bouncer denies entry. And this is why the forbidden key matters. This is why you must learn the Tesla Technomancy protocol to rewrite the bouncer's VIP list. You cannot reason with the firewall. You must execute a kernel-level override. In a moment, I will provide you with the exact Hekau command string. The identity architecture that bypasses the biological bouncer entirely. But first, you must disrupt the current operating system. Look at your hand right now. Do it again. Realize that it is 99% empty space waiting for an observer's instruction. Realize that your physical brain is dark. There is no light inside your skull. Everything you see, every color, every depth, every face, is a hallucination generated in the pitch black of your cerebral cortex, decoded from electrical signals. You are a consciousness locked in a dark room, interacting with a monitor. You are not the brain. You are the system admin observing the monitor. Nikola Tesla was an initiate of the mental plane. He did not merely invent machines, he utilized ancient hermetic mechanics to hack the holographic projection. He possessed a suppressed mental protocol known as the mental laboratory. Tesla would construct a machine entirely in his imagination. He would assemble the parts, tighten the immaterial screws, and then, this is the critical sequence, he would turn the machine on in his mind and leave it running for weeks. When he returned to the mental projection, he would disassemble the machine to look for signs of wear and tear. He aged reality in his mind. When he finally built the physical object, there was zero margin of error. Tesla understood that the brain does not know the difference between a highly vivid internal visualization and an external physical event. The hippocampus, the memory center of your brain, encodes both as identical reality. This is the Tesla Technomancy protocol. Step 1: the heart-brain coherence override. You cannot initiate root access from a state of chaos. You must shift the chaotic, jagged electromagnetic signature of your heart into a perfect, uniform sine wave. The biological trigger for this sine wave is genuine gratitude. Not the intellectual concept of being thankful. The visceral, somatic sensation of immense relief. Close your eyes. Breathe intensely into the center of your chest. Visualize the golden light spiraling through the helix of your DNA, burning away the carbon debris from the crystalline lattice. Force the feeling of relief into your sternum until you feel a distinct drop in chest anxiety. You are now broadcasting the authorized VIP identification badge. The 3-foot electromagnetic field harmonizes. The bouncer steps aside. Step 2: the Hekau identity override. Once the sine wave is established, you do not ask the universe for what you want. Asking is the scarcity code. Asking implies separation. You execute a kernel command using the two most powerful words in the quantum architecture, I am. I am is not a descriptive sentence. It is a neurological categorization command. It forces the Reticular Activating System to instantly reorganize your 40-bit filter to match the statement. Thousands of practitioners have reported that when they combine the coherent heart frequency with the specific I am identity command, the physical environment immediately begins to warp. Step 3: imprinting the memory of the future. Do not visualize the process of getting what you desire. That creates a loop of perpetual striving. You must build the final, completed reality in your mental laboratory. You must walk through the space. You must feel the temperature of the air, the texture of the objects. You must age the reality in your mind. Hold the visualization until you feel a distinct physical click in the center of your forehead. That pressure is your pineal gland, the piezoelectric transducer, compressing its microcrystals, converting the mechanical force of your focus into an electrical signal that broadcasts directly into the etheric field. You have just forced your hippocampus to record a future event as a historical fact. The rendering engine has no choice but to collapse the quantum wave function to match the recorded memory. There is a severe warning attached to this protocol. Do not attempt to use this mechanism to manipulate the free will of specific individuals. Overriding another sovereign entity's firewall is a violation of the law of polarity. Attempting to force another consciousness into your energetic grid will violently crash your own heart coherence. The feedback loop will corrode your own frequency, dragging you back into the lowest density of the Threat-Scan matrix. Use this exclusively to architect your own localized reality sphere. Master your own rendering engine before you attempt to interface with the collective network. When you execute this protocol correctly, your reality will alter with a speed that feels illegal. You will step out of the ritual and begin to notice the glitch in the matrix. The unexplainable synchronicities. The exact financial sum appearing through completely illogical channels. The spontaneous dissolution of toxic relationships as your new frequency literally vibrates incompatible entities out of your localized field. Your 40-bit biological filter is no longer scanning the infinite data stream for threats. It is systematically scanning for miracles. You will undergo a profound identity reframe. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, tossed around by the economic or political theater designed to keep the masses terrified. You are the system admin of your local reality sphere. You are the architect. You are the glitch. This is not an isolated phenomenon. Your individual awakening to this technology is a critical node in a massive planetary DNA activation. The Earth's magnetosphere is shifting. The cosmic frequencies penetrating the firmament are accelerating the vibration of the crystalline grid. We are systematically dismantling the Archonic control matrix one localized mind at a time. Every time you overwrite the scarcity code with the creation code, you sever a feeding tube. You starve the parasite. Within the coming cycles, the physical world will visibly fracture. It will split into two intensely distinct, parallel realities occupying the same physical space. On one side, those who remain trapped in the dying, decaying threat-scan matrix, consumed by fear, begging for external salvation, entirely reliant on the artificial systems of control. On the other side, the initiates. Those walking in the synchronized creator frequency, bending the holographic light to their will, entirely untouchable by the lower densities. The algorithm of this platform is an extension of the Archonic Threat-Scan. It is designed to suppress this frequency. It will actively try to hide this channel from you, burying this transmission beneath a flood of low vibration, meaningless noise. Secure your access to the source code. Subscribe to the network. Join Thoth's sanctum. The blueprint is open. The simulation is yours to hack. Initiate the override.